The financial advantage of homesteading, saving money and building wealth through property ownership. All this and more on tonight's episode of the Farm to Table Report.
From the age-old traditions to the modern homestead, discovering the dedication, resilience, and love that crafts our food, nurtures our land, and builds community. Welcome to the Farm to Table Report, the heartbeat of the homesteading community, with your host, Ryan Hooper.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Farm to Table Report. As you can see, things look a little different in my background, and I'm sure they sound a little different. We here at the Farm to Table Report, my side of things, we are in the process of a move up to our homestead, and well, the house isn't quite all the way moved, but all of my studio stuff except for my computer and camera are gone, so the lighting may not be the greatest. I apologize, but hey, we felt it was important to get this episode out, even in the transition, even in the move. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with us. I want you to hit that like, subscribe, share, smash the buttons, let us know you're here. We thank you so much for tuning in. If you find what we do here valuable, let somebody know about it. We hope that we're educational, I'm stumbling all over it tonight. Educational, informative, enlightening, and maybe a little bit entertaining along the way. But anyway, welcome into this week's episode of the Farm to Table Report. As we are getting into it tonight, I want to comment for just a little bit before we get into all of our news and the things that we do with the with events and headlines, homestead spotlight. That's what we're going to start calling it now, not the homestead highlight, but a homestead spotlight. We feel like that's more important because we're putting a spotlight on homestead and bringing attention to them and something they may be doing or giving back to the community or just something we like about them. But anyway, before I get off into that too much tonight, listen, there's a lot going on in the world. To say that the world is upside down and crazy would be an understatement. And you know, it's just unbelievable what is happening out there in the world today. Apologize for that if it showed up. But anyway, we're just inundated with stuff. And right now, I'm going to go ahead and go over to share screen. Right now, in the news, it's all about Israel. And the attacks that are going on over there. As you can see, I put into my DuckDuckGo search news about Israel, and I mean, it is just covered up. And, you know, there's no shortage of it. And folks, I just want you to know, while that's real and it's tragic, and man, my heart bleeds for the people of Israel and those around the borders with the Gaza Strip and all the fighting and those that have been killed, their family members captured, you know, all that is there. And I stand with Israel and my heart breaks for them. But what I really need you to understand is just simply this. Don't be distracted. It's real, it's news, but in the midst of that massive amount of news coverage, you can't click anywhere without it being what is on the news. Pay close attention to what's going on in the background. That's always a thing. If the media is harping on one thing, there's a lot of important stuff going on behind the scenes. Things within our government, things around other parts of the world, and just it's a way that the media uses to distract us. And so, you know, be aware of that, and you know, give it its due attention. Pray for the people of Israel. Pray for peace there, and whatever your feelings may be about what's going on over there, you know, so be it. But just, you know, my little thought on that as the news headlines are inundated with all of that, there's a lot of things going on. You know, of course, I talked about the Speaker of the House being ousted and what's going on there. We've got, you know, our economy continues to be a problem, and it continues to be an issue, and as well as, you know, so many other little things Another thing, the farm bill is up in a fight right now. The budgets, continuing resolution, all those things are there, and they just distract away from all that by focusing on something bad that's happened. Now, I've got a friend, pastor friend of mine, who's been over in Israel. He's probably right now as we speak, or very shortly, going to be heading back to here to the United States. But he was over there for the last 2 weeks, and he was there when everything went down. And you know, he's even told me don't pay attention, don't believe everything that's on the news with it. You know, he's told us in a video that he posted on his Facebook, but that they were safe. But you know, they were in Jerusalem, and they got to see the dome work. They got to see missiles shot down. You know, but that was the very first day, and they said it's been calm where they're at since, and it's kind of pretty isolated. And anyway, Jack the cat is in here being, well, he's being Jack. But anyway, folks, just, you know, keep that in mind. Keep them in your prayers. Keep the people over there always in your prayer. And those, especially Americans, but, you know, anybody that's over there. These people are losing families. They're losing their homes. There's a lot going on. And it's never good when there's this kind of war. You know, and the media is going to try to spin it one way or another, but just keep your eye on the prize. And as our good friend Doug likes to say, you know, don't get caught in the trick bag. And that's really just kind of where we're at on that. But I'm going to go ahead and slide back into the share screen, everybody, and, you know, get back over to what we're really here to talk about. So I'm going to get into the share screen and go over there. Our first headline up for the night, this is in the Santa Barbara Independent, and what the story, the headline, Successful Farming Through Sharing. Cooperative development and equipment sharing is an equitable solution that California's family farmers need to succeed. A lot of times we don't like hearing the word equitable or such as that, but it actually can be a good thing despite what some people have tried to do. So we're going to dig into this, and what it is, it talks, it's by Renata Brillinger and Paul Towers. It came out just this last Saturday. Nate Gonzalez Siemens of Fat Uncle Farms and Melissa Sarongan Pedrasasi. I hope I hit that right. If I didn't, I apologize. They're in the San Joaquin Valley and Central Coast. Small-scale farmers that grow grain as a part of their diversified operations. Consequently, small-scale and biologically diverse farming operations like Nate's and Melissa's require a greater variety of costly equipment, and some of which is only used a few times a year. Now they go on to talk about now that person, you know, the realities of climate change, and I'm not going to get too far into what I feel about that. The climate changes, you know, a few times a year. It's called the fall, the summer, the winter, so on. But you know, anyway, we're going to move on. They talk about the structure of the supply chain and the food system inequities. They talk about how it negatively impacts local food producers in California. Now listen, the cost of living out there and their supply chain, the cost of land, equipment, infrastructure, and water, particularly there in the central, that whole state, the southern part, the central, I know around Bakersfield area, stuff like that, they struggle with water. And man, I just, you know, you got to have water. And so what they're saying is with all of that cost, it's nearly impossible for young, beginning, and even small farmers such as Nate and Melissa to access these baseline needs. And they said roughly 3/4 of the farmers in California operate on less than $100,000 in annual sales. Now, you know, that's a big chunk of money, and you know, so I mean, it's just one of those things that is what it is. But you know, that's a lot of money. Well, you know, what they're talking about is, you know, making the purchase of new equipment, which can average between $5,000 to $30,000. That's a big challenge for them. Some types of equipment, harvesting equipment, electric tractors, even refrigeration units can cost over $100,000. Very difficult. And Nate, this guy shared, they had two major challenges. First, access to land, and second, access to equipment. They've been able to lease land but could not find specialized tools to rent. So they discovered other small-scale farmers in the Central Coast and southern San Joaquin Valley community were facing similar challenges, including vineyards, orchards, you know, etc. They decided to pool their resources to acquire equipment that they could share and applied for grant funding to help with the cost. Whatever you feel about grants one way or another. But the fact is they pulled together with neighbors, with fellow ranchers and stuff to kind of help share the cost, and they share the equipment. And you know, if you got a good group of people and you know these people and you trust in what they're doing, I mean, that's great. But 3 years later, their equipment sharing collaborative named California Plowshares, cute, has expanded to a broader network of approximately 25 farmers across the Central Coast and southern San Joaquin Valley. This year, Community Alliance with Family Farmers and the California Climate and Agriculture Network, whatever that is, teamed up to put a bill together in the California legislation. To be right, they actually did something, but anyway, to address the barrier around equipment, make it possible for more farmers to participate in sharing programs such as California Player Shars. Enter AB Assembly Bill, I guess 552, the Regional Farmer Equipment Cooperative Resources Program. Boy, they had to put a $5 handle on that one, didn't they? But anyway, the legislation currently awaiting from the governor's desk would fund both existing and new equipment sharing programs to allow farmers to borrow or lease high-value equipment and support with farmers with resources, knowledge, assistance, their own farmer-led collectives. So anyway, they're just, some possibility of, doing that stuff. And it goes on and on about the bill. Y'all can read that if you want. I really just want to highlight the fact that, you had a couple of farmers who were, they had a need, they had a problem, they had situations, however you want to title that. They had a situation, they had a need, and they went about finding a solution. Now they pulled together and were able to, with some others that they trusted, I'm sure, and able to share cost. And I will tell you that is what community is all about. And I mean, I can't even imagine, those expenses. I have expenses of my own, and just with a small little bit, much less trying to actually raise any kind of commercial or small scale commercial farm. But they pull together resources, and that's what community is all about. That's what, we talk about it all the time, about building community, about getting out there, resourcing, sharing, helping each other out. And this story just really goes to highlight that. And that's why we picked it this week, is that it just shows so much. And, hey, listen, while I'm thinking about it and talking about this week, hats off to my brother Keith in the background, this week, and working like always as he does, and just doing an excellent job with researching out some headlines and helping me out with that. And of course, there's a lot of the technical aspects behind the scenes that he helps out with. But anyway, just hats off to my bro. Anyway, I'm going to go back over here. We're going to get on to the next one. Listen, free speech. Now, obviously, as a podcast and somebody who likes to talk as much as I do, free speech is kind of an important thing. But no, seriously, First Amendment right. First Amendment right to free speech. You want to defend free speech. You defend somebody's right to say something that you find abhorrent, that you would spend your entire life fighting against. That's free speech. Anyway, what's the censorship? This is on the GlennBeck.com, Glenn Beck radio program. Canada threatens to censor podcasts and streaming. Will America be next? What's in here? Canada may soon start censoring and regulating streaming services and social media platforms, forcing podcasters to register with the government. You don't want a regulated Internet Podcast Council, Glenn warns, and he believes it probably won't be long before leftists try passing similar laws here in the U.S. But Glenn spoke with Toronto Sun political columnist Brian Lilly, who gave one of Glenn's favorite responses to the Canadian government on X, formerly known as Twitter, where he said, "Go to heck." Anyway, Brian reveals the disturbing way Canada is trying to sneak these new regulations past its citizens, and whether or not this is the beginning of a much larger attempt to silence voices. Listen, the things going on north up there, they've got a lot of socialist type stuff, and they've got a lot of things, and up there under Trudeau, and that is what it is. But listen, for a lot of us out there who are into podcasts, who do podcasts, and some of our friends, this is something we need to keep an eye on, because they're right. It won't be long before somebody tries to it, and what they're doing is they're saying that podcasters are going to have to register with Canadian Radio, Television, Telecommunication Commission, which is like our FCC. He said you don't want a regulated Internet Podcast Council. Goes into effect November 28th. So listen, this has been passed. meaning any online streaming service that operates in Canada generates revenue of more than $10 million in any given year will have to register. And that's a lot of money, but still, the platforms the streaming services are having to register. And what does that do? That affects podcasters. We have to have internet. We have to have a platform. We have to have someplace we can go. It requires podcasters register the government only once and collect all of its basic information from them. New streaming service having to provide information about their activities. Doesn't sound dystopian at all, right? We don't want that, we don't want to hear, we don't want it for our neighbors in the north, and so it's they want to regulate podcasts. So anyway, it's this is just, man, I mean, more and more government overreach. It happens here, but it's happening to the north of us. And we need to be able to stand up. If we don't stand up and say something now, if we're not paying attention to these kind of things now, it may be too late in the future. So listen, censorship of thoughts, of ideas, of entertainment, whatever. While I may find some of it egregious, and it certainly needs to be age appropriate. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that. You don't want just everything, because we've seen what happens when that is allowed. But we do need to be paying attention to those things. And this is just a headline. We're going to move on now. Let's see. No apologies from weaponized banks canceling faith groups. This is just a little bit about faith. I mean, we're big in our faith here. It's a headline from CBN News. And it was 9/14, so it's been just a couple weeks ago. Increasing number of Christian conservative organizations that are being debanked. Accounts are closed, payment process turned off, or some are placed on a donor blacklist. Banking financial services become weaponized. Among the victims, Indigenous Advanced Ministries. It helps orphans and widows in Africa. Its account was closed by Bank of America. This was close to home. Family Council of Arkansas, which promotes traditional family values, was canceled by J.P. Morgan and Chase. And the Pro-Family Ruth Institute lost its payment processor after being targeted as a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now that place is a whole other thing. It says here, Bank of America accused of discrimination after politicized debanking. We received an email. This is from the Ruth Institute. We're not going to do business with you anymore. And it was gone. Credit card pricing was gone. What qualified them as an alleged hate group? The dream of the Ruth Institute: every child be welcomed into a loving home with their own mother and father married to each other. Yeah, that left wing, that's just too much. But the National Committee for Regional and Multi-Faith Organization, headed by former U.S. Senator Sam Brownback, had its bank account closed by J.P. Morgan Chase. I mean, this is just, again, more and more government overreach. It's an era of censorship and cancel culture. But I mean, say hijack to everybody, hijack. J.P. Morgan Chase said at shareholder meeting this year, no apologies are necessary, no corrective action is necessary. So what I'm saying is, don't do business with places like that. Find your local banks that are, find banks that are not this way. Find banks that support, their people, and just stay away from them. What used to be good banks, now they're giving into the woke mob. They're giving into all that, and just keep an eye on things going on. Again, we're going to move on. Now, this is a helpful. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, this is a helpful article right here. This is on the Epoch Times, and what this is: the power of tooth powder. Now, some folks, may think, but tooth powder, and it was the precursor to toothpaste. It's a trendy and old-fashioned, good old tooth powder, natural and safe alternative to toothpaste. Its modern descendant. Now this is by Suzanne Olmstead, posted on the 3rd, so it's a few days old. But anyway, humble, earthy tooth powder, sleek toothpaste, understated older cousin, edging in on the dental care scene as a newly popular, but not so really new, option. If you're not a fan of fluoride, let's put a banned chemical that they can't get rid of into our toothpaste and into our water. That's really a good idea. But anyway, or you're concerned about the ingredients in your grooming and dental products, consider this lowly but mighty alternative. Tooth powder is basically toothpaste stripped of its modern frills, building on the eons-age-old practice of using grit to clean teeth. Abrasiveness is one aspect of modern toothpaste that makes it effective, sometimes called powdered mineral toothpaste. It's emerging as its natural and safe alternative. It's eco-friendly, packaging as glass jars or paper bags as opposed to plastic tubes. Thanks down to earth ingredients such as charcoal for whitening, cardamom, sea salt, crushed eggshells, baking soda, and bentonite clay. Hey, you need your bentonite clay? Redmond, go see them. Anyway, it's usually fluoride free, which is a plus for many people who become wary of fluoride treated water and toothpaste. Put me in that list. Anyway, it says in some parts, Middle East people have always preferred powder to toothpaste. Limited research exists. Effectiveness of tooth powder comes mainly out of India, Pakistan. Tooth powders are especially popular. But anyway, 2014 study, International Journal of Health, tooth powder stain removing efficacy, that word messed me up, or extrinsic surface stains was significantly higher than that of traditional toothpaste, shown to be better at controlling plaque and reducing gingivitis in a study from Saudi Arabia. We can learn something from over there. Not necessarily Saudi, but I'm just saying countries where they still do things the old ways. Very little negative news concerning tooth powder exists. So you could have an allergy to it, I guess. Meaning you can try this at home, all natural, often organic. Brands, their tooth powders are natural. Burt's Bees, Tom's Maine, Uncle Harry's. Most companies claim their products are free of preservatives, artificial colors, chemical additives. Anyway, go on coconut oil, so on and so forth. There's instructions, include brushing with the powder, then gargling with it, swirling it in the mouth with water 5 to 10 seconds. Pulls toxins out of the mouth. Listen, your mouth and your teeth, they get a lot of things stuck in there. Causes a lot of problems. You got nerves connected there, your sinuses. As you can see, my allergies are acting up, and the reason is because that furry little critter that keeps jumping up in here and spreading his hair around. But anyway, somebody who had, I've had my natural teeth replaced, and I will tell you, it opens up my sinuses and it got rid of a lot of problems, but it is amazing what your teeth can trap. But anyway, just check this out, and just as an idea, that it's one way, here's a picture of it, toothpaste, one way to go back to the old ways that may be natural and safe for those that are, into that type of thing. Leah over at Homesteading, you might want to look into this. This might be something you could put together. Just a friendly tip out there to one of our friends. So there you go, folks. Something you can use. Everybody's got to brush their teeth. It's something important. And so take care of your teeth, and this is just maybe a better alternative, because read up on fluoride. One of the comments there, do your research on fluoride. Not good for you in any way. And that's actually a true statement. And now they force it into our water, force it into our toothpaste and stuff like that. And then we wonder why we have the problems we do. I will move on because I'll get on a soapbox. All right, next up, and the one that we led with, the financial advantages of homesteading, saving money and building wealth through property ownership. Here it is, folks. This is the one we've been talking about. I'm going to go right back to it. This right here gets to the heart of homesteading. The benefits, many of our homesteaders will already know this, but here's a chance for those who may be thinking about it, just to kind of some things to consider to put into the way of doing things. But anyway, that was off-plan property exchange that was today, Tuesday, October 10th. Anyway, actually they put it out October 8th. So anyway, don't we wish this was the homestead, right? Right there's the homestead. Anyway, exploring the financial benefits of homesteading, how property ownership can boost your wealth. Now, some of you already know this, but here we go. The financial advantages of homesteading. It's a lifestyle choice. It's seen a resurgence in recent years, and if people embrace self-sufficient lifestyle, leveraging property ownership, save money and build wealth in ways that may not be immediately apparent to the uninitiated. It explores the financial benefits of homesteading and how property ownership can significantly boost your wealth. Now listen, I ain't saying you're going to get rich. I'm saying you're going to have wealth, and there is a difference between rich and wealth. At its core, homesteading is about self-sufficiency. Growing your own food, raising your own livestock, generating your own energy. Maybe, off-grid, solar, there's a lot of other things where you can, wind, that type of thing. But hey, a lot of us still use electric. Not nothing on that. But it's about growing, about self-sufficiency and self-sustainability. I know that word's gotten a bad rap too, but it means a lot. Now it says, for instance, growing your own fruits and vegetables can drastically reduce your grocery bill. Similarly, raising your own livestock can provide a steady supply of meat or dairy and eggs, further reducing food expenses. And I'm going to tell you something, for those of us who've been to the grocery store lately, yeah, any way you can reduce that expense is a good thing. The prices have continued to climb. Things continue to get higher and higher thanks to the inflation and what's going on there. But anyway, we just need to balance the scales a little bit here. And now using like wind or solar, if you're able to do that, that's awesome. I know a lot of the people use the solar generators where they have solar period. Depending on where you live, the wind power may be a good thing, but it can cut down on utility bills, net metering, that type of thing. Check it out, do some research on your own. Jack, you're really killing me. However, the financial benefits of homesteading beyond mere savings. Powerful wealth being tool, particularly through property ownership. That was part of the original founders, the constitutional. That was part of their idea was property ownership, being able to own land. It was new because you had to be in other places. You had to be in the royalty or in the lines and stuff like that to own. Well, to be a land baron, to be a landowner was a big deal. So our founders felt that that was a big part of independence, a big part of freedom was land ownership. So, I don't think that's changed. The one, they're not making any more of it. And when you have a place, it is. It might grow to increase net worth. I mean, my properties are worth more today than they were when we bought them. And that's just normal. But it also provides a sense of security and stability. And I think that's true. It's an asset that cannot easily be taken away. Now, capital appreciation, can also is one thing. That's where it grows on its own value. What I was talking about. But property ownership can generate income. Homesteaders, can lease out part of their land for recreational purposes, rent out buildings on their property, or they can sell surplus produce, livestock, home and goods, which a lot of y'all do, which can turn their homesteads into a profitable business. And that's a big deal. Now there's tax benefits, like homestead exemptions on interest or property tax, etc. And then there's tax incentives for land used for farming and conservation. Can further reduce the tax liability. And anything we can avoid giving Uncle Sugar, that's a good thing. So homesteading offers a unique opportunity to build wealth through sweat equity. That's by doing the work themselves. Homesteaders increase the value of their property without the need for significant financial investment. Now, it depends on what your definition of substantial financial investment is, but they're right about sweat equity. What you can get with equipment and getting out and doing the work yourself versus paying contractors and having to hire people to come in. That saves a lot of money. And, a penny saved is a penny earned, as the old saying goes. Anyway, for building a barn, installing renewable energy, planting an orchard, can all increase a property's value while enhancing the homesteader's self-sufficiency. So, that's true things. And in conclusion, they say it offers a multitude of financial benefits, allows individuals to save money by reducing their reliance on external goods and services. In other words, shorten the links in your food supply chain. We talk about that all the time. Take another link, cut a link out. The closer you are to your food, the better it is. The less steps you got to go. It's that right there is worth it. And it is, the more you have neighbors, the more you have friends, the more you have people that grow, and you can trade through CSAs, through farmers markets, through direct sales, and what you can grow on your own. You can just save so much money that way over the course of time. But the more you can grow for yourself, obviously, the better. We were just talking earlier, me and Keith was over visiting, just on the phone with our good friend Andy. Some of y'all may remember way back when we first started, we did an episode on wicking tubs with our friend Andy. And so I was on the phone with Andy, and I got a chance to ask him how the garden had went this year. And he said, well, it's still going. So he's still growing. He's got things still coming in. He planted a late tomato crop. They're coming in. He has some other things that are doing really well. He planted some cover crops to help with winter time, keep the soil good. So he's doing real well with his wicking tubs. He bought these mineral tubs from the co-op and did good. So we're going to have to get Andy back in. We're going to get some time to sit down with Andy again and kind of catch up. For those of you who may have seen that, go back and check it out. Where Keith interviewed Andy and he talked about his container garden, that type of thing. And, just go and check that one out. But anyway, it was good talking with Andy. But back to what I was saying about external goods. It also offers a pathway to wealth building through property ownership, capital appreciation, income generation, tax benefits, and sweat equity. It's not without its challenges, but it can be financially rewarding lifestyle for those who choose to embrace self-sufficiency, property ownership. Anyway, I know I paraphrased quite a bit of that, but exploring the financial benefits of homesteading and how property ownership can boost your wealth. There it is, folks. If you didn't already know, and many of you already did, that's just one aspect of homesteading, but a very important one. And for those that are considering getting into it, that are waiting to take the plunge, jump on board. It's hard work, and it's its own thing, but I'll promise you it is absolutely 100% worth it. And in the end, you'll be grateful you did, and you might you'll learn stuff along the way, and just be more independent and more self-supportive. And so we're going to pull off of that, and we're going to jump over. Let's see, we got that. I don't have any history this week. History is being made this week with Israel and some of that stuff, so I'm going to leave that alone this week. Let me see. I want to get over here. Let me see. I'm moving around here, trying to remember where I was at. What we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do Homestead Highlight right now. Our Homestead Spotlight. I apologize. We have changed the name from Homestead Highlight, which is what I first said. We felt that Homestead Spotlight was a better representation, as we are shining a light on a particular homestead each week, or something they're doing and something that brings their attention to us. And so I'm just going to jump over here and let you kind of see who we're talking about. And this week's Homestead Spotlight is the Old Pecan Homestead. Some friends of ours that we met at the Okie Homestead Expo back this last June and have continued contact with. They are in Stroud, Oklahoma, which is east central Oklahoma. Family of 5 living on 10 acres. I'm going to go over here. Get over here. Bam. Let's see. Let's get over there. Okay. 10 long-term goal of never having to go to the store again. 3 boys. They homeschool and try to teach to live homely. They raise cattle, goats, chickens, coon, which is pigs, rabbits, ducks, cats, worms, dogs, and they even have a llama. Our passion is the outdoors. They love life on a small farm, but hunting and fishing are a big part of who they are. Constantly building things, learning how to better our farm. Not afraid to work and enjoy getting things accomplished. They're entrepreneurs. We'll talk more about that here in just a minute. Find value in most things. They love finding good deals. No shame in buying secondhand. Often flip things to make the extra dollar. Give thanks to God. That's right, for where we are. Don't forget, nothing new in life is easy. Never give up and always trust God. Proverbs 3. Anyway, they are the Old Pecan Homestead. They are a fairly young channel, and I'll give you a quick little backstory. This is their YouTube channel right here. Go out and check them out there. They're also on Facebook.com/Old Pecan Homestead. I'll click over and show you that. That's right there. So you can find them on Facebook or on YouTube. I'll tell you, how we met them was quite interesting. We were up at the expo, and Keith had been there one day, and I was there the next, and we were interviewing people and getting to know people and stuff. And I had walked past them. They had a goat there, and you can find it was kind of standing by itself. And I went over and tried to get the goat on camera, and the goat didn't want nothing to do with it, which was kind of funny. But anyway, went on. Well, they wanted to talk to us, and so they sent one of their youngsters over with their business card to hand to me, right? And so I read it, turned around, and which I had seen them standing there. And this is where I'm going to talk about what they do for a living. One of the things they do. Dakota works in the scale business, and but anyway, Minuteman Scales is something they do. It's one of their entrepreneur things, I think, and where they work with that stuff. But anyway, they had a scale, a miniature version. It was actually for like goats and stuff, a small scale. And I seen that, and I seen all the scale hardware out there. And honestly, Dakota, Shayla, sorry, I thought y'all were in the scale business. And while we were interested, I mean, it's neat, and I mean, it's something that farmers and ranchers and homesteaders can certainly benefit from. And if you need one, Minuteman Scales, or go to Old Pecan Homestead and reach out to them. I'm sure they'll be glad to work with you and talk to you about that. But anyway, so I just hadn't really went over there. Well, when they came over and I seen their card, it said Old Pecan Homestead. I said, okay, there's more to this. So I went over and talked to them, and you can find that video on our channel where we talked with Dakota and Shayla, and ended a conversation on and off camera. Found some kindred spirits, you must say, like-minded individuals, and we talked about a lot of things. And Dakota's been and Shayla have been regular commenters. They've been around with us, and so we kind of kept that relationship going. But anyway, that's the long story of how we met, and what they're about there. And they're a hoot. They do different things. Like I said, all these different animals. And anyway, the reason we picked them, besides we know them and we're friends, is that Dakota has a particular, I guess you might say, him and Shelley have a particular dream. And we're going to play a little video clip. It's just a few minutes long. It kind of lets Dakota kind of put some of it into his own words of what they're about, what they're wanting to do, and why we 100% support this, and we think it's a great idea. Is simply because it's what the community is all about. It's what homesteading about. It's what self-sufficiency is all about. And we just feel like that they are the reason we want to put a spotlight on them and on this particular thing. But I want to clip over to that right here. So listen up, folks. This was in a reaction video to Richmond, north of Richmond.
Hey guys, this is Dakota with Old Pecan Homestead. Just finished up a little bit of tractor work on this beautiful August evening. Please like and subscribe if you're not. Please like our videos, guys. We have some fairly loyal followers that are watching our videos, but they're not liking them. We're getting about 10 or 11 likes on our videos. If you don't like them, you don't have to like the video. But if you do like our video and our content, please go hit that like button. It really helps the algorithms. It helps boost our videos, our channel in the algorithms. Please do that. Let me talk briefly about what the goal is of our YouTube channel. Our goal is to not only be self-sufficient, homestead, but also we want to move more into a farming role where we're actually producing a significant amount of farm-to-table food in our local community. And you guys are going to be a big part of that. Our subscribers are going to be a big part of that, guys. It is very costly to get into cattle, to get into to raise pork and put it on the table. Guys, it is not cheap, trust me. And I want to do my part in raising clean, healthy meat for my local community. So when you guys like and subscribe, eventually, we're only a couple hundred hours away from monetization, but eventually, God willing, we have 40, 50,000 subscribers, 100,000, so on and so forth. That would be awesome. But God willing, we have enough that it can fund some of our farming operation. We have everything we need currently for homesteading as far as my income, which it could always change. But we want to move to the next level, and we want to be able to cost effectively bring food to the local community where people can afford it, guys. People are struggling. As you'll see in this video, I'm going to do a reaction to Richmond, north of Richmond, and he says $1 ain't what it used to be. And that is why I'm asking, please subscribe to our channel. But anyways, I want to get you turned around so you can see this.
Well, there you go, folks. Just in Dakota's own words, what this project is and why we're wanting to support them and put a highlight on them. You can get them on Instagram, you can get them on Facebook, of course here on YouTube, and that's where they're at. Like I said, Dakota Show, they're honestly good people, and I want you to pick up on a big part of what they said there. They want to raise good quality food, good quality meat that's well taken care of for their community, to be able to provide to their community cost-effective, cost-affordable food. They want to be able to bring it because they said that the dollar's not worth what it used to be. To quote Oliver Anthony a little bit better, the dollar ain't. Anyway, But the man, what a goal, what a dream. You know, they've got just a small place, 10 acres, and, you know, of course, lease lands, maybe of them. I don't know the details. We haven't dug into it with them, but maybe in the future. But they are just an honest family that is trying to, you know, make it. They do good. They got their farm, and like I said, they're a little small 10-acre, which more than I've got, so I can't say them. But anyway, they're a little place, and they raise their animals, but they're wanting to do something that benefits their local community around them, benefits those folks, because if you watch that video in length, that's a pretty lengthy video, but if you watch it at length, you know, he goes on about a lot of the problems that are going on, not only just in our area where we live around here in Oklahoma, Arkansas area, but honestly countrywide, nationwide, even maybe worldwide. And the things that they've seen and the things that they see about people struggling, and it just, you know, they have a heart for that, and I appreciate that with them, and that's why we wanted to put the spotlight on Dakota and Shayla at Old Pecan Homestead. I'm going to go back over to share screen for just a minute, just so you can see Old Pecan Homestead. Go out, give them a check out if you like them, if you like their content. You know, give them a subscribe, give them a like. You know, ring that bell, and be supportive. You know, help be a difference. If you can't do it yourself, through somebody else, because they are a genuinely nice couple, good family, and just want to give back out of what they've been blessed with, and through the blessing of their channel, you know, they want to be able to give back in a way that is meaningful by providing something that is just totally cool. And so, listen. Old Pecan Homestead, our spotlight of the weekend. Dakota, that opening monologue, go back and check it out if you watch it. Go back, that opening monologue, that's for you, buddy. I know you keep your eyes on the pulse of the political world and things going on, and you have your opinions about them. We're like-minded individuals, Dakota, and just hats off to you. And y'all guys keep doing what you're doing there at Old Pecan. We'll be in touch with y'all soon. Anyway, we're going to move on. We are going to go right over here. This is a little bit of news. We're going to switch into events, local events. I'm going to highlight this one. It's already happened. The first annual Homesteaders Conference was held in Shreveport. That was actually held the other day. It was at Louisiana State University, LSU. Held a conference for those wanting to grow food, raise chickens, milk goats. First ever Homesteaders Conference in Louisiana State University Agriculture Center on Research Station Drive, Shreveport. Dr. Ron Strahan is the regional director for that Northwest region of LSU Ag Centers. Homesteaders Conference will become an annual event, so look forward to that coming forward. People are really interested in where their food comes from. Amen. That's absolutely right. Being able to grow their own food and have animals, egg production. But anyway, it covered poultry, egg production, raising rabbits, raising meat and milk goats, food preservation, meat processing. People want to be able to process their food, be in more control of where their food comes from. They were provided with information from backyard and small acreage food production techniques and about food preservation methods. So listen, hats off. I highlighted this to show you this is a growing thing, folks. Homesteading is on the rise. There's more and more and more people getting into it. It's all over the country. It's international, as we showed last week with D6. We've seen others around. It is a big deal. Getting back to food control, taking back and arresting control, reducing the food, links in the food supply chain. And this is what this is all about, and I just want you to understand that you may be feeling like you're small in your community. You know, you may feel like you're by yourself, or just you and your neighbors, or the farmers market. You don't really think about it. But listen, statewide, nationwide, worldwide, you're part of a larger community. We've said it before, and we continue to say it. Global problems with local solutions, and that's a part of the local solution. And the more people get educated about how to raise their own food, the more they become independent, even if it's in a backyard. That's just better for everybody. That's what getting back in touch with our food. That's just super important. But anyway, we're going to move right on back to the share screen and get on over there. Okay, coming up. Actually, let me see. I'm gonna go here. Knoxville. That's this weekend coming up. October 14th. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. or until complete at 5. Knoxville, Arkansas. It's a homestead event. They are going to be having all kinds of stuff there. vendors and demonstrators. Anyway, if you're in the central Arkansas regions up around Russellville, you're in the central Arkansas area, go check this out. It's happening this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3, Knoxville Homestead event. And then, let's see, where are we at? I think this is the one, yep. Homestead Livestock Summit, from homegrown to harvest. This is a virtual event. It's October 23rd and 26th, so a little bit later this month. It's a must-attend virtual event specifically designed for aspiring and seasoned homesteaders. Learn from experts how to raise livestock, fresh homegrown meat, eggs, dairy during this free virtual event. Make homesteading a financial and personally rewarding experience. Now, I kind of glanced through it. It's just kind of a promotion. This person is really into this, but it could be some good information. Shelby DeVore, I don't know much about her, but I know that she hosts these summits and she teaches. I know she was an FFA person. She has a background in, multi-generational homestead, raising livestock. And then she's also got a bachelor's degree in animal dairy science and a master's degree in ag. She's taught FFA in high school. Anyway, so she really feels important about education to people. And so here's an opportunity. It's free. It's online. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go anywhere. And from what I was reading through, you can do like the summit. These lessons or whatever are available for 24 hours. So you can watch it. If you're not there when it's actually live, you can watch it later. They've got a Facebook group going, so you can participate that way with some commentary and stuff. So just a good thing to go check out. Okay, let me see, where are we at here? After that, well, same weekend, right there at that same time, Indiana Homesteading Conference, a little bit out of our backyard, but Indiana Homesteading Conference, October 21st and 22nd, rain or shine, partnering to teach sustainable living skills and encourage community. I've talked about this one before. They've got a little bit of everything. Joel Salatin's going to be there, Hunter Smith, Hunter Smith, Pork Rind, Sean Beth Dougherty, and Rhonda Fowler and Mulberry Branch Farms, who puts this on. And they got a lot of sponsors, as you can see, and a whole bunch of speakers. And one of the speakers that's going to be up there is our good friend Bob Ryder from Olive Branch Aquaponics. They're going to be up there speaking about aquaponics, and as we're working on putting together some stuff where we went and spent some time with, or Keith went and spent some time with Olive Branch. They believe that aquaponics should be at the heart of the homestead, and I'm not going to give away too much more other than that right there. So just keep your eyes peeled for that, as it will be coming out very, very soon. But anyway, October 21st, 22nd, Marion County 4-H Fairgrounds in Indianapolis, Indiana, rain or shine. So put that on your calendar. And of course, it would, let me see, we're going to jump forward here. Modern Homesteading Conference, this is in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And June 28th and 29th of 2024. So this one's way out, several months. But listen, if you're going to go to Idaho, you got to make a travel. Either way, again, Joel Salatin, I think he's been there in the past, different ones. They have got a whole list of speakers. You can go to modernhomesteading.com and find out all about it, and how much the tickets are, and it's in the Pacific Northwest. There it is, Dr. Tim Grandin, Lisa Bass, Joel Salatin. You can see this long list of speakers that are up there, and man, it just keeps growing. And so listen, if you're out that direction or you want to make a trip, there it is, the Modern Homestead Conference. And of course, last but certainly not least, our Okie Homesteading Expo in Pryor, Oklahoma, Friday, March 22nd, Saturday, March 23rd of 2024. It's right around the corner. It's going to be here before we know it. They got pre-sale tickets on sale now. They are the Okie Homesteading Expo. We went last year. We're certainly going to be there this year. We'll have our vendor booth. Family and fun, educational fun for all ages. For those who've never been, listen, get this on your calendar. Again, March 22nd, 23rd. You have to buy tickets. It's a 2-day ticket. They're not doing individual tickets this year. So whether you go one day or both days, it's the same price. But anyway, OkieHomesteading.com. You can check them out on Facebook, and they're out there. Do this one, and certainly put that on your calendar. I said, we're going to be there, and I know a whole bunch of other people. Joel Salatin, once again, is going to be one of the speakers there. Walker Farm Fam's going to be there. Daniel Arms from Arms Family Homestead is emceeing again. Grow Jack Outdoors, Gardening with Leon, the Max. The list goes on and on of the speakers, but you can go check that out at okiehomesteading.com. We'll look forward to seeing you there, no doubt about it. So that is that, and that wraps up the event section, and that wraps up. We did our homestead spotlight. We went back over. We talked about some of the news headlines from all the way from successful farming through sharing, about censorship that's coming, weaponized banks canceling faith groups. Hey, listen, the power of tooth powder, something to check into. Of course, then the headline, the financial advantages of homesteading, saving money and building wealth through property ownership. And then we talked about a lot of events going on, and most importantly, our homestead highlight of the Old Pecan Homestead and our friends over there. So certainly, take the time to get to know that and get to know them, check them out. Anyway, so, they are the real deal. They are legit. And so go over there, Old Pecan Homestead, go check them out. Hey, folks, listen, told you, it's a busy week. We have been scouring the news headlines, scouring for information, as my brother Keith has been doing a great job of research as well as my own. But and again, don't let them distract you with all this news. Keep an eye on things going on in your own backyard as well. It's okay to pay attention to the things going on overseas. It certainly affects us. It certainly affects our economy. That's an ally. That's a friend. But more importantly, keep an eye on the things going on in your own backyard. What's going on here with our own government, your state government, your local government. Keep an eye on the prize, so to speak. But listen, it has been once again a pleasure to be with you this evening. Thanks again for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share, and we look forward to seeing y'all each and every week. I will say that in the upcoming weeks, as it is a little bit different in here tonight, nothing on the back wall sitting in the corner. Sound and lighting is not what it normally is, just because of everything's been packed up. Not sure how we're going to be doing the report the next few weeks. We're in transition, giving it the old living in the travel trailer while some things happen and we get the house ready. But before long, we'll be back in full mode, full studio mode, and being able to bring you all the quality that you're used to here with the Farm to Table Report. But in the meantime, bear with us. There will be a lot of stuff coming out. We're about due for just an honest episode of the Farm to Table Direct Show, where we're all in studio together. I think that'd be a good thing, and we'll have to look into seeing about making that happen sooner rather than later. But anyway, again, thanks for tuning in. Keep it real. Keep your eye on the prize, folks. And listen, thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, God bless. Stay safe.